All right, good evening, everyone. Welcome to Committee of the Whole, calling this meeting to order at 7:12. Do we have to say if it's meeting? No.
The meeting's been posted and noticed, and a quorum of all 7 board members are present.
Okay, great, thank you. So we are going to talk about one item tonight, which is consider staff modifications, and I believe that Tyler will be presenting for us.
Correct.
And this memo can be found on page 66 of your packet.
Great. Well, thank you everyone for your time tonight. I can keep it to about 10 minutes and then allow 10 minutes for questions. Right now is an opportune time for quite a few changes that have been in the works for a number of years. Basically, I'll summarize based on the 3 buildings that would be impacted by the changes that we are proposing starting tonight. Just for discussion tonight, board action on July 6th. The first changes would occur at Village Hall. Diane DeWent Hall has been at the Village for over 19 years. We love Diane so much. She is gearing up for her retirement. And with discussions with the clerk's office, we're proposing that we would not fill that FTE, but instead assign her job duties to 5 different staff positions as outlined in the memo. Because these individuals will be taking on additional duties and tasks, we would like to adjust their compensation appropriately, which is identified in the pay range schedule for you. We've had discussions with all these individuals who feel comfortable with the proposal at hand. I think that will pretty much summarize that for Village Hall. As we go then to public, one other thing I should mention with Village Hall is that Bart Griepentrag, based on some market analysis, I would also, our village manager's office would propose adjusting his pay range accordingly. I provided a lot of the comparables that I had in the packet that I think provides some strong evidence to support that. Going to Public Works, we have a number of frontline positions that are under market as well. That research is all provided to you in the packet. I believe that Mequon was the only municipality that had a minimum or a maximum that was under where our maximum is for the pay range. We're identifying some major recruitment issues. As we change the pay range, I don't anticipate we'll magically all of a sudden resolve the recruitment issue because everyone is having a recruitment issue. I think the perspective that I want to relay to you as a board tonight is with 2 things with this market adjustment proposed for DPW is number 1, I think it's going to help for retention so that we don't have a number of people leaving Public Works for other municipalities who have higher pay ranges. The second thing is if it encourages 1 or 2 people to apply for our positions that have the qualifications. We just need that 1 or 2 people that have the qualifications that we're looking for to be a part of our DPW family here. So, I think, that's, our strongest argument of why we would really like that adjustment for DPW. And once again, I think the market analysis shows that. The third adjustment would happen in the police department, where right now we have 2 vacancies, one with our retirement from Kevin Carini, who is deputy chief, and the second that was our Lieutenant Josh Schmidt. I identified in the memo for you outlining the pay compression issue. Basically, just to summarize it, what it is if you look at the max of the detective and the low range of the police chief, we have about $18,000 in between there. And we have 3 positions currently that we have to fit pay ranges in between. So those are very small compressed pay ranges. If we can eliminate a job classification and have 2 in there instead, that would really help our pay compression issue. So we feel that if we can eliminate the lieutenant line, change deputy chief to captain, which is a lot more common in police departments, and then we would elevate one of the FTEs as a lieutenant to the captain line, and then we would lower one of the lieutenants down to the sergeant, that we could eliminate the lieutenant job classification. So that's the 3rd change that we are presenting tonight. And the fiscal impact, I outline how each of those changes impact not only the general fund, but the water and sewer utilities, as well as the parking utilities. So in the end, there would be some savings with all these changes all together. So we think there's a lot of wins for the village here through all these changes. With that being said, myself and several of the staff people who would see the changes, the implementation of the changes, are here tonight. If you have any questions.
If anyone has any questions, you can unmute yourself or raise. Kathy Stokebrand.
Thank you. This is maybe a little unrelated, but I noticed that we still have the DPW construction coordinator listed. And I believe in another committee meeting I was not at, we talked about hiring someone for the second mechanic position, moving that over to a special equipment operator. So are we still trying, where are we with our net DPW? If we're keeping this construction coordinator on, is it just on the list, but we're not expecting to hire this year?
Yeah, I can confirm that we're not expecting to hire the construction coordinator for this year. I know that we've talked internally that when we start talking about the 2022 budget, and maybe in a meeting before we get to the budget, that we have a discussion with the board as far as how they want to proceed with the construction coordinator position. Leanne or Becky, do either of you want to add to that at all?
I don't have anything to add at this point.
Okay.
Okay, and then I just wanted to confirm then, so we're going to have 2 election/licensing clerks, would that be correct?
That's correct.
We'll have an administrative payroll person, which we already have.
Correct.
We'll have an accounting assistant, which I believe is the one that Director Emanuelson is in the process of hiring right now.
Correct.
We have a village clerk, which we will keep. And we're going to have a planning and development administrative assistant who's, I actually counted like 6 jobs that will sort of change. Is that right?
Yeah, the planning, what an admin assistant won't, I mean, like 95+% won't change. It's just providing a little bit more additional support, which we feel very confident she'll be able to take that on. But I think with this arrangement, the advantage for that admin assistant too is when she's gone. Right now we have Bart, or one of the inspectors that are answering the phones. So that's where we want to do some cross training, where we would have the elections and licensing clerks be cross-trained in understanding the planning and administrative assistance duties, where she is gone, that they could help with the answering of the phone calls and some of the permit processing over there.
Okay, great. Sounds good. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing other hands. Now, Tyler and Rebecca, I think you did a pretty good job really kind of briefing the board along the way with these developments. And so that may be why we don't have more questions tonight. You know, everybody has kind of gotten individually gotten some information prior to this. That's correct? Mm-hmm. I think this has been really, really well thought out, and this is a great opportunity And I think that it does align our staff in some innovative ways that I think can really deliver great service and also make us more competitive in the market. And so I really appreciate the thought and kind of the strategic planning aspects of this and looking at this opportunity as how we can get there. And then I had a question procedurally. If we, the recommended motion is to approve the amendments to the pay range schedule. Since this is a COW, would it still need to come to the village board, or would this be a final action?
Becky, you want to take that?
Typically in the COW, we haven't taken formal action in the past. It's listed as consider staff modifications for purposes of the discussion. We had anticipated bringing it back on July 6th for formal action at the regular business meeting.
Okay. All right. Any other questions or comments from the board? What, Trustee Warren?
Yeah, I think I can. I just wanted to thank you for putting this together. I think it's great that we're thinking strategically in terms of staying competitive, in terms of how we're aligned, and that we, this has been something where we haven't necessarily seen the whole plan put in one place, but President McCaig's right that this is something where we've seen bits and pieces of it, so it didn't come as a total shock to us. So I really appreciate you thinking strategically around this, and with that, I'm ready to make a motion if you're willing to entertain it.
I would. Well, let's take Jim's question first.
Oh, I didn't see Jim.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to echo everyone else's remarks just in terms of, kind of taking us through this, so we understand this process prior to this meeting was super helpful. And yeah, I agree with the thinking that went into it. Tyler, just a question I had for you. I think you mentioned that, a lot of municipalities are challenged when it comes to hiring right now. I mean, could you elaborate on that right now? I mean, any considerations we should be thinking about as we look for, in light of, questions that might come up in hiring and staffing moving forward? What are the kind of challenges we're facing and why?
Yeah, great question. Understanding that it's 7:24, I'll try to give a 1 to 2 minute answer to that. Because depending on the position, it changes. I will tell you DPW is the most challenging of all the positions that we have. Typically, when we have a DPW posting, we get 5 to 10 applicants total. And those are just total applicants, not even looking at the qualifications. So that is really the area that we have the hardest. And I just think it's because, all municipalities are struggling there. It's just, there aren't a whole lot of people, wanting to get into the trades. And I think that's, been a global discussion, just not one locally here. And I think that's where, as we move forward, we'll have to think a little bit more, creatively on how we get people into those positions. One of the recent people that we hired in the Forester, and it started out as a seasonal with DPW. I think it's just an awesome story. And I think it's things like that where you can get maybe the younger generation exposed to an area like DPW and maybe create it as a passion area for them early on. It is a great opportunity to do that. I love that story because it showed obviously their seasonal work left an impression for them to continue in that profession. Some of the positions at Village Hall are a little bit more easier. Library just had a recruitment where Rachel said they had well over 50 applicants. Wow. So there are certain areas in the village we, certainly don't have an issue recruiting. But DPW is difficult, and I know if you talk with the police chief, with the police officers, that continues to trend downward a little bit as far as ability to recruit. So those are kind of, there's some areas we're doing well and some that we're not, but that's where I look to have open communications with any of our department heads, volunteer committees, board members, as far as ways that we can creatively recruit for new people to the village.
Thanks for the succinct overview.
Yep.
Okay. All right, trustee Warren, I'd entertain a motion at this time.
I move to approve the amendments to the pay range schedule and job descriptions identified in the presentation.
Second.
Second by Arthur. Is there further discussion?
Oh,
Yes, trustee Stokely?
I just wanted to confirm, I think it was in the memo. So if we just vote with the recommendation tonight, I believe the pay increases were supposed to start in July, but if we don't vote on them until July 7th, would we still be on target for that?
Yeah,
payroll?
we would do it so if approved on the July 6th board meeting, then it would be just the following pay period
Okay.
for those changes. And then we have changes in August too, which would be fine. Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. We don't have a lot of residents or members of the public on the call, but I just wanted to check if there was anyone here to speak on this tonight. Okay, I'm not seeing anyone. Do you see anyone, Sarah?
I do not.
Okay, great. Well, in that matter, seeing no further discussion, is this a roll call or can we do a show of hands?
You can do a show of hands if everyone
Okay.
agrees.
All those in favor of the motion as stated?
Aye, this is Tammy.
Okay. Okay.
Aye, this is Arthur.
Aye.
All right, it looks like it's 7-0.
Yep.
Any opposed? Nope. All right, motion passes. So with that, I would take a motion to adjourn.
I will move to adjourn.
All right, second,
Second.
second by Arthur. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any
Aye.
opposed?
Aye.
Opposed? None, 7-0. Thank you. See you at the village board in 1 minute.